Right. That's new.
Just so you know.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everybody. We will call the quarterly meeting of the Ketchikan Public Library Advisory Board, Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. Thank you very much for everybody for being here and anybody tuning in at home. If we could call to order.
Okay, just called to order. Do we need to do an introduction?
We do. Yes.
Oh, we
Yeah,
do.
we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
We do.
So yeah, before we get started, let's welcome new members to the Library Advisory Board. Miss Kathy Bowling, thank you.
Thank
for
you. I'm
being here.
very pleased to be here.
And Ms. Kathy Bowling is the Assembly representative. So thank you for not only your service on the Assembly, but here at the Library Advisory Board. Much appreciated. And then actually also before we do that, for the new members and also for those tuning in at home, one thing you'll notice in the Ketchikan Public Library Advisory Board meeting agenda is a preamble to the U.S. Constitution, which it was decided by the most recent iteration of the Library Advisory Board. Be good to highlight really the importance of what we're all doing here when it comes to protecting the civil liberties of our citizens and ensuring that as a board, we are using this as our guide. So welcome. All right. Okay, think we're ready.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, am I way off? I think.
I thought we
I'm introduction. There we go. Okay. Where do we do the
I take roll.
Yeah,
take roll though? Don't you take roll before we do it?
establish a quorum. Don't we do that first?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We can
I
do
think so.
that.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll
Don't we
take.
just okay.
Yeah. We'll take roll. Make sure we have everybody here, present or absent, and then we'll
Perfect.
do Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
Excited.
That sounds awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Bowling.
Here.
Dahl.
Here.
Finnegan.
Here.
Say Hops.
Here.
Lildgren.
Here.
Pilgrim.
Here.
Echo Hawk.
Here.
See, and Govars and Montgomery are absent.
Okay. Perfect. And they are definitely missed.
Yes.
So now I'm back on track. So item number 3, Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for a pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Thank you. And this evening, I asked Miss Pilgrim to do our land acknowledgement. So if you could do that for us.
We are on Tlingit land and we would like to acknowledge and give honor and respect to the traditional landowners, the Tlingit elders, past, present, and future generations. We honor the relationships that exist between the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian peoples. Great, thank you very much. Okay, now we're on to item number 5, approval of agenda. If I can get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, and second, perfect, thank you. Any discussion?
I make a motion to amend.
Yes.
Can I add an agenda item 9E as the report?
Perfect. So the agenda with item added into item 9 reports, section E for teen reports from our teen liaison. Amendment made. Or
Second.
perfect. All right. Any discussion on the amendment? Okay, if I can get a roll on the amendment.
Yes. Let's see, Dahl.
Yes.
Finnegan.
Yes.
Hops.
Yes.
Lildgren.
Aye.
Pilgrim.
Yes.
Echo Hawk.
Yes.
And Bowling.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The amendment has passed. So now we're back to the agenda as amended,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Okay. Let's see, and Finnegan.
Yes.
See, Hops.
Yes.
Lildgren.
Yes.
Pilgrim.
Yes.
Echo Hawk.
Yes.
Bowling.
Yes.
Dahl.
Yes.
Excellent. Good. Everything
thank you.
passes.
Thank you. So now we're on to item number 6, approval of the October 8th, 2025 meeting agenda. Voice crack. So if I can get a Motion to approve.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Perfect. Motion on the floor.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? No? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, if we could go ahead and
Do the roll.
do the roll for the approval of the October 8th minute.
Okay. Otts,
Yes.
Liljegren,
Aye.
Pilgrim,
Yes.
Echohawk,
Yes.
Bowling,
Yes.
Dahl,
Yes.
Finnegan.
Yes.
Excellent. It
Perfect.
passes.
Thank you. Now we're on item number 7, which is correspondence. Do we have any correspondence other than the one that I have in my hand?
I do not.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this correspondence is submitted by Miss Sherry Montgomery. She would ask that we read this to the board. So good evening, fellow board members. My apologies for not being able to attend tonight's meeting. I'm currently at a school board meeting where I'm doing my best to serve our students in our community. As such, as I value this board and the work we do, my responsibilities as an elected official must come first. With that in mind, I kindly ask that you consider moving future meetings to a different night of the week. As you all have read on the agenda, my term expires in March. I sincerely hope this is not my last meeting as an LAB member. If meeting nights are adjusted, I would be honored to reapply for another term and continue serving. I truly enjoy this board, but as much as I would like to try, I just can't be in 2 meetings at once. Congratulations to our new board, our new member from the Borough Assembly. I look forward to hopefully working with you. A huge thank you to Pat DeMello and the rest of the staff, not only for everything you do to support our meetings, but for our community as well. I hope to see you all in April. Since I won't be there tonight, someone else will need to step up and be the awkward one who never quite knows when to stop talking. I'll do it. If this is it for me, thank you all for the past and present board members I have served with over the last 3 years. It has been been my honor. Thank you all again and again, Ms. Sherry Montgomery. Thank you very much, Ms. Montgomery. Great, thank you. Okay, we're on to item 8. We'll open up the floor for public comment. If anybody would like to make a comment, the podium is yours for 3 minutes. We will open up the floor for anybody that's ready.
I didn't bring the audience members tonight,
didn't,
so we have
yeah,
no audience.
Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close out public comments. Now we're on to item 9. So the first, that is our reports. The first report is Friends of the Library report, Miss Nina Hops.
Yes, hello. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Happy New Year. So last report was just after the 3-day book sale that we had. And we tried a new thing this year where we separated some of the children's books. We still offered free children's books at the 3-day book sale, but we had nicer hardback, great condition books at the library in the conference room. It was a 1-day sale. It was pay at the front desk. So on our system, it took our children's librarian and myself and Grant unloading books and setting up minimal volunteer hours for over $750 sales in 1 day, which is really comparable to our daily 3-day sales sometimes for just books, not including merchandise and donations. So it was, I would say, a huge success. And Amy at the library started the other children's sale, or helped me do that show and sale. And then in June, did her own collectible, and I'm going to let her talk about that.
Kim Cool and I spent many, many hours there. We're not going to do it that long again. But once again, we made about $750 on Alaska collectible books. The plan was that we would follow up the following weekend, everything slashed by at least a third, and the weather was horrible. So we haven't had that sale. We plan to do it at the end of February. We took in about 96 books and we sold about half. So at that second sale, we'll see. I have one book I've priced at $300, so it's now $200. So, you know, you can sell a book here for $200, so. You might know that at our December board meeting, we're scratching the surface of our strategy for the coming year. And one of them is to really focus on these collectible sales. I got, I think, an average of about $12 to $13 per book at that one-day sale. I'd much rather sell a book for $12 than $1. You know, reading has changed in the last decade or so, and not that many people are reading good old books. And so we have to consider what we're offering the public. So that's where we are right now.
Great.
And the leftover books from the children's fair were all taken by Steve, who took them for the airport, for the airport children's section. So it was a really clean operation for having to it. And I think we're gonna revisit storage and sorting and how best we can do it, because the 3-day sale isn't as profitable with all of our expenses of the storage unit and time. It takes a lot of volunteer hours. And in the December meeting, they approved, I wasn't at it, so this is from the notes, $8,900 in requests from the librarians. So that's amazing. However, we don't make $8,900 book sales. So that's something to consider moving forward, that the Friends can only supplement what the city should be supplying. We can do things like making sure the new vehicle has magnet logos, because I think that's amazing. I was at a meeting with Amy and Anne-Marie earlier today at Ketchikan Wellness Coalition, and I didn't check to see if they were driving the library mobile. So
Not sure if they were driving the library mobile either.
yep. So it just, looking forward, we need to rethink how we can get donations and have it a fundraiser as opposed to just a dollar book sale.
Sure.
And yeah, that's my call.
We did receive a sizable donation from one of our supporters who passed away. And, you know, that's really a wonderful thing that they remembered us. And I do want to say the Friends are not poor. So, so if, you know, we have a bad year, like we lived through COVID, you know, once we were given $10,000, which just blew me over from a private citizen. And I'm like, oh, let's do this and let's do that. And Judith said, we're saving it for a rainy day. We didn't know that rainy day was going to be an international plague, but we were able to sail through COVID. And of course, the library wasn't requesting a whole lot because you weren't seeing the public.
Right.
So anyway, we're in good stead.
Great.
Questions?
I have a question, if anybody else has. My question was on the $200 book, was that, you said that was an Alaskan collectible book? What, can I ask what the title is?
It's I think
out of
it's
curiosity.
historical.
Oh,
And the thing is, you know, we get these books and we have no idea
yeah.
any of the history and who gave it to us.
Yeah.
If you'd like to see it.
Yeah, that's really neat, yeah.
Yeah. Earlier when we were in the Dock Street store, we did collectible sales every Saturday, along with, you know, the dollar books. And there was a book about maritime functioning. The book was printed in 1806. And fortunately, it was rebound in about 1960. And so the book was actually readable. When I compared on the internet that book, many of those books, and they were in the $800 or so range, couldn't be touched because they were just falling apart.
Okay.
Yeah. So finally, the right person came in the door, plunked down $10, $20 bills, took it home and put it in his gun safe.
Oh.
And I'm like, the right person valued that book.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm looking for the right person to buy this.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just my own commentary is the benefits of the hardbound books like that is because they pass through time like that.
Well,
You know,
yeah, and
hundreds of years.
I don't own a book like that. I don't plan to own a book like that, but I just have such a soft spot in my heart for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's neat.
so.
Yeah, it's a neat
Yeah.
story. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the Friends of the Library? No? All right, thank you very much. Now we're on to item 9B, City Council. Anything happening
Most pertinent to the library would be the passage of our most recent budget we completed in late December. And I can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the library's budget passed as proposed.
did.
Yeah, so
It
no,
did.
no cuts were made to the proposed
Mhm.
budget for the library in this coming fiscal year.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Finnegan? I have a quick comment, if I may. I appreciate how well you articulated the importance of passing the budget. It was
Yes.
really well said.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Oh,
I totally agree.
I'm always happy to go to, as I said here earlier today, I'm always happy to go to the bat, go to bat for the library. I just don't always like that I have to.
Yeah,
But I'm happy to do so.
Yeah, very good. The community benefits from your advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, item 9, C, Borough Assembly with our newest member.
Very quick report.
Lay it on us. We're ready.
Happy to be here. I'll be here through October. That's when my term expires on
Mhm.
the assembly, and there are 3 seats I think will open in October. I just encourage our citizens to think about running for office. But meanwhile, I am going to be here and
Yeah.
enjoy these meetings.
Oh, welcome.
Hopefully be able to offer some assistance, support.
Well, welcome. Thank you very much. And I think it's very exciting personally to have somebody with library, professional library career here on the table. That's quite beneficial. Looking forward to your contribution. Thank you. Let's see, now we're off to item 9D, library by Ms. Tully.
Okay, let's see here. So in your packet is the usual library director's report. And I'm not going to go through any of these because it's already all written out. But I do, because we did pass the library budget this year. And that was something that was the topic of conversation last year in this meeting. So I wanted to just like very quickly summarize the projects and any changes in the 2026 library budget. We'd submitted 3 capital expense requests, which the city finance department turned into part of the operational budget, and those all passed. So the operations and maintenance, which is the O&M budget, includes almost $30,000 for replacement security gate. That's the gate that beeps if you go through it without having checked out an item. But it's kind of starting to fail. We bought it in 2007, and it was in the old building before we moved it up to the new building. We also have $25,000 for a replacement security camera system. Since our existing system, the cameras are not great. Now, the First City Libraries Division budget includes $53,000 to migrate to a new online library catalog and integrated system. We share that online system with the Ketchikan Gateway Borough School District libraries. So that particular cost will be borne in part by city and in part by the school district. So now that the city has approved their part of it, we now will be going to the school board and the school superintendent. I think we have a meeting with the superintendent February 3rd to talk about the importance of going to this new system, especially since the ongoing maintenance cost, the annual maintenance cost, we anticipate will be significantly less than what we're paying for our existing system. So we're cautiously optimistic that we'll get the go-ahead from the school board and we'll be able to go forward and migrate to a new system later on in 2026. Let's see. So this past fall, we got our library mobile. It was surplus from the police department. And because we have several staff, I mean, most notably the outreach librarian who, almost every weekday, she uses that to go to the Pioneer Home and to go to various meetings and to go visit homebound patrons. But we also have people who regularly get supplies from Walmart, who go to the post office, who go to City Hall. and who distribute flyers for our programs all around the island. And so the vehicle is getting a lot of use, and we're really happy to have it. And we're happy that the Friends have approved our kind of branding, the library mobile. So it is specifically for the library. So we, in our budget, we of course had to budget for gas, for maintenance, for insurance, and so that's a change in the 2026 budget. Let's see here. We've got another project that was actually mostly paid for in 2025, but because of the weather, we couldn't do it in 2025. That's adding snow stops and repairing the roof gutters, which are in kind of rough shape. So when the weather permits, we're going to be able to do that. That will be great. And also, we were able to get an addition onto the garden. And that's going to allow us to, or allow the Rotary Club to finally install the outdoor musical instruments, again, when weather permits. So that's happening, and that's not a cost to us at all. The Rotary Club is covering all those costs. So those are the major changes, and so most of the packet is this, and truthfully, I just wanted, because there was so much interest last year in the budget, I just wanted to make that available to people. So that's that. And then also, I just finished this yesterday. This is the 2025 infographic on the library last year. And yeah, we're continuing to do well. Our digital checkouts are way up. And a lot of that is because of new resources like Hoopla, Canopy, Freegal Plus, in addition to the Alaska Digital Library. There's definitely a shift toward more digital use. So any questions?
Yes, miss. Yep.
So I see 37% of the patrons were people living outside the city, and 59% within the city. Have those numbers changed in the last couple of years?
Those numbers have stayed fairly steady. And it's interesting because this year, every couple of years, we go into the system and we get rid of accounts that have been inactive for some period of years. And that's what we did this October. So we actually, I think it was about 1,700 accounts that we took out of the system because they'd been inactive. And yet, when you look at the percentage from last year and the percentage of this year of City of Ketchikan versus borough outside of the city, it's the same. So very strange. And you also notice for physical checkouts, it's 48% of the physical checkouts are for people in the borough outside of the city.
We're
So although
proud of that.
they account for only 37%. We get a lot of families and a lot of homeschooling families, and they check out a lot of materials. So thanks.
I wonder if I may, the chair, those figures, the 59% city, 37% borough, that's a 5,300 patrons who provided the location. There's roughly 2,300 accounts where the location wasn't given or provided.
Right, and by that we mean what we do when we set up a new account is we say, are you in the city or the borough? Because we don't always know, and our staff doesn't always know. And so these are the patrons who said city, borough. We also have many longtime patrons that they have had accounts since before we asked that question. And so what we have not done yet, at least not in a consistent way, is we have not gone back to them and assigned the city or borough. So
there's some possibility that we could have something closer to parity if those 2,300, depending on how those 2,300 unanswered
Right.
questions might be.
Right, but interestingly, when you look at the population of city of Ketchikan versus people in the borough outside the city, it is like a 60-40
Oh, interesting.
kind of, yeah. So it pretty closely parallels this.
Yeah, interesting.
Good question. I do almost all of my printing when I need to print something at the library. So so that would just count as a computer use, but not necessarily another services? Like, does it double dip someplace else?
No,
Because it's a
think
specific.
so, because it would be a public computer use.
Yeah.
Because we don't have like wireless printing. So it would be separate from that 8100 of wireless users. So yeah, that would be part of that. A lot of people do their printing at the library, so.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. And thanks to the staff. If you could pass on our appreciation for all the work that we're doing.
Definitely.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Now we are up to item 9E, our teen liaison, or high school representative, I'm sorry, high school representative Sophia Boger.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna try and make it as short as possible, but it's a pretty long packet, mainly because I made the survey quite a few questions longer this year, but lots of success. But first, I kind of clarified why I do the survey, who kind of funds the gift cards, things like that. So I figured I could just read this aloud for everybody, kind of give a general why. The teen survey is intended to gather direct, community-specific feedback from local teens in order to better understand how library services, programs, and spaces are experienced, and where there may be unmet needs or opportunities for improvement. By hearing directly from youth, the advisory board and partner organizations gain insight that supports more informed, inclusive, and youth-centered decision-makings. The survey also serves as an educational purpose by encouraging teens to participate in community feedback processes and understand how their input can shape public services. The survey was distributed via email to students at Ketchikan High School and Ravenna High School. The participation was entirely voluntary, and the survey itself was unpaid. As a participation incentive, students who chose to include their name were entered into a random drawing for a local grounds gift card. This year, one $25 and two $15 gift cards were awarded. These incentives were funded by the Friends of the Library Board and not the Ketchikan Public Library. Survey results are shared for educational and planning purposes with the Ketchikan Public Library, the Ketchikan Public Library Advisory Board, and the K-High Library, with the goal of supporting collaboration and improving library and educational services for teens in our community. That's the why. There's a little table of contents for if I've ever included that. I'm gaining skills as I go. But yeah, so a lot of the questions were the same, so I can kind of go through those a little bit quicker, and then I'll kind of review the data for them. But I asked, what grade are you in? The answers were pretty 50-50. 33 students were sophomores, 26 were freshmen, 23 were seniors, and 20 were I already found a typo, and 20 were juniors. But this was out of 102 responses, which I'll get to why that's so cool later. And then on the attendance question, from the above of the 102 responses, 45 students said they went to the public library 1 to 3 times a month. 39 said they went 0 times a month. 13 said they went 4 to 7 times a month. 3 said they went 7 to 14 times a month. And 2 very, very library-loving students said they went more than 14 times a month. And then for students who said 0 times a month, there were 2 separate routes that you could take on the survey. And students who answered 0 times a month were prompted to the question, why do you not go to the Ketchikan Public Library? What would make it more easier or more appealing to go there? And I won't read out the individual comments because I've kind of grouped them loosely by what they kind of gave their main reason as. So 16 students responded that they didn't have time due to busy schedules. 9 students responded that they already had access to books, which I see as a huge win because that means that our library loan system is working well at K-High and Ravenna. 7 students responded that they didn't have interest in reading. And then the remaining 7 students, their answers couldn't really be quite grouped into anything, so I listed some of them down below. Answers that were just I don't go or N/A. I kind of just included in the didn't have an interest. And I didn't feel the need to include those because they didn't give substantial data. And that can be the same for all of the answers I included. It wasn't because the answer wasn't like good per se, it just didn't give the right amount of data that we were looking to collect. And then for students who did answer anywhere between 1 to 3 or the 14 plus times a month, they were given the question, what brings you to the Ketchikan Public Library and why do you attend as frequently as you stated above? 33 students responded to that saying book selection and checking out books were their main interests, which was expected from that question. 23 students said their main interest was utilizing it as a study and homework space. 7 students responded with unique answers that varied outside of categorization. Some of them that I'd like to highlight are the I go for the next step senior prep meetings. So that is hosted by Natasha O'Brien,
Rebecca Bowling.
and Miss Christensen at the Ketchikan Public Library. One Sunday every month for seniors looking to go on to college, the trades, things like that, so they can create a resume, college application. Miss Bolin helped me with my college essays, so that kind of stuff. And then mostly because of volunteering, but also because of the arts and crafts, and then the tag meetings as well. So those were kind of the highlights from the varied outside of the groupings. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. I'm trying to not talk for so long. And then for genre preference, I asked the question, the public library's teen room contains young adult books, DVDs, and CDs of all genres. What genres do you prefer to read? I won't go through all the lists, but the top 5 chosen genres were action and adventure fiction at 61 votes, fantasy at 59, graphic novels with 37, YA romance at 36, and mystery at 33. And then when asked what genre would you like to see more of in the public library, a lot of the same. The top 5 were action and adventure fiction with 30, fantasy with 30, YA romance with 26, comedy with 25, and graphic novels with 23. And then this question was prompted, I believe, by Lisa at the Ketchikan Public Library. She wanted me to include this question in the survey. So the question was, do you feel the Ketchikan Public Library is meeting teenage social needs with their events and activities? So 55 said yes, 22 said no, and 25 said maybe or I don't know. So I loosely grouped these responses. How I did this was I didn't want to just make it a strict yes or no. So I didn't just do a check yes or check no. I had them write out a response. So I had to manually go through and read them and say, this is leaning towards a yes, or this is kind of giving I don't know / maybe. So that's kind of how I grouped them in quite loosely. So 55 students loosely responded yes. 22 students loosely responded no. And then 25 said maybe or I don't know. A lot of them were, I don't attend enough to have an opinion, or I don't see myself going there enough to make that much of an impact, or to see that much of an impact on my life. So, majority yes, but the no's were constructive, which was good. So that was that question. And then this is also a new question. I said, please list all library activities or events you've participated in, whether you liked them or not, and why. 18 students responded none, I can't remember, or something along the lines. And then below are some examples. Again, they were constructive. A lot of them said I wasn't able to attend, but I would have liked. I chess as an example. There's a lot of mentions of wanting to go to chess, but hadn't been able to. That was something that kept coming up. But a lot of saying I couldn't go, but I wish to in the future. And then 84 students responded listing their activities. I included, I think, 7 of them that were just pretty. Like, they typed out a lot. A lot of them listed one thing, and I figured it would be best to get the most substantial comments on there. But there was a lot of good comments. A lot of activities that are more not repeated through the year, such as the Nutcracker bits. They do the reading. There was, I think I mentioned just of that we used to do Harry Potter Day, the big one that comes every now and then. And so there were some smaller ones, but they all lots of good feedback on that. And then I see this didn't quite go right on the paper, but what kind of space is the Ketchikan Public Library to you? this question again, I had them type out a response and then I manually went in and kind of made a pie chart. So I like to see numbers like that. So what role does the Ketchikan Public Library play in your life? Academic space, fun reading, or otherwise? 38 said academic space, 35% said reading, 31 said fun, and 12 said others. So yeah, 38 students at academic space kind of gave the reasons. I will say a lot of students said fun reading. I see reading as fun. So I counted those as both because they said they made it clear that reading to them was fun. So therefore them going for reading purposes was going for fun. I did contemplate how I wanted to include that because I also see reading as something fun. But since I did ask it as two separate things, I was like, well, so that's kind of what it looks like. But there were, I think, sorry, I've seen it in my eye. I think there was 8 or 9 of them saying reading is fun to me. I see this as fun and reading, so I included them. And then for the last question, do you have anything else you'd like to let the library advisory board know? This can be specific books, actions you want the advisory board to take, things that could be added to the public library to help your experience, or just an opinion you would like to share. We'd love to hear it all. The majority of respondents were no or N/A. There was but there was a good handful of beneficial comments, so I included them down below. There was a couple ones I wanted to highlight out in specific that I'll kind of talk on a little bit more later, but uptick in sports fiction. A lot of interest in sports fiction lately. And I think that's noted in 2 of these. I would like it if you guys added a bunch more Golden State Warriors books or just interesting basketball books. And then I would be interested in more sports fiction. You could partner with Mr. Lund's sports lit class and maybe add more or tell us about the ones you have.
Yeah.
So those were 2 sports lit comments, and we didn't get any sports comments last year. So I felt it enough to notice that I saw 3 or 4 of these guys. And then another comment was the library staff is wonderful and the building is wonderful. I follow you guys on Instagram, but to someone at school not on the gram or Facebook, it might be cool if they could set up a public library bulletin at my school. And then there was more that I wanted to point out. What's that? Oh, you should add more ACT and SAT prep books and more recent ones, especially now that the ACT is different with the enhanced ACT.
Okay.
I thought that was it's rough. But I felt that one was pretty important to know, especially that I know there is some resources there, but now that it's different, I love them changing the standardized testing on those. And then the last one was kind of a fun one that I just wanted to add. You should get a library hat. I think that they know that that's not a possibility, but I thought that was pretty funny, so I wanted to add that.
We do have a frighteningly lifelike stuffed library. Well, not an actual library cat, but it looks incredibly lifelike. We got a new one the other week, and it came in a clear plastic bag, which was like even more frightening.
Yes, and then now that I've been doing this for 2 years now, I have some comparative data to look back on and kind of see trends. So first off, general involvement from the winter of 2024 survey and the winter of 2025 survey, it was just about double the respondents. We went from 65 people answering the survey to 102, which was shocking for me. I kind of put this out there and then looked away for a good 2.5 weeks. And when I opened it back up, we had about 90 responses at that point. And I was like, did I do this right? Like, is this an error? But it was great. I got a lot of good data. So yeah, general involvement went up by a lot. I think that was definitely because of the coffee card incentive. Thanks to the Friends of the Library. And then teen attendance in the library in general went up. It's hard to look at the exact numbers because again, we went from having 65 people to 102 people. So the data was a little bit hard to like make a good comparison to. But in general, more students went from answering 1 to 14 times. However, more students by percentage are going this year in response to the survey than responded last year, if that makes sense. So not like the exact number didn't, like obviously the number went up because more people responded, but the percentage compared to the 0% people going 0 times a month, that went up. So in general, that is a great uptick. And then the top 5 favorite genres, those changed too just a little bit. The top two, they stayed the same. Action, adventure, fiction, and fantasy have a strong hold in first and second. But the third ranking changed from true crime to graphic novels. The fourth ranking changed from history, or was tied with horror, thriller, and mystery, and that changed to YA romance. And then the fifth changed from graphic novels to mystery. So a little bit of a change on what kids are reading nowadays. So I figured I'd note that. And then sports literature had a very huge uptake in 2025. I looked back on the 2024 and the spring 2024, and there was little to no mention of sports literature. I think there was one on the select what genres you'd like to see more of. I think there was one button that someone typed sports lit. So there was about 4 or 5 comments altogether that said they would like to see more. So I figured I would add that, especially because I think it's because Mr. Lund is teaching 2 or 3 classes of that now. So I think there's more kids interested. So that was a new uptick. So genre I hadn't seen that much. And then there was a large increase in students referencing study space or academic space in their why I go to the public library. Before in the 2024 survey, that specific language wasn't used as much, like there was quiet space to do work, but there was a lot of referencing, I like the study rooms, I go to do my homework, I go when I need like tutoring help or things like that. So definitely I think there's been in the last year a big shift in how many kids are like, oh, I need somewhere to study, I can go to the library. So that resource I think is being shared well. Just even we have finals this week. And even just, I know that this teen study party had a lot of kids there on Sunday night, this last Sunday, doing like studying for finals, things like that. They provided snacks and all that. I've heard great things about it. I wasn't able to be there, but I've heard nothing but high words. And just also, I've seen kids in the study room, in the larger meeting room. I know the library is making a very, very valiant effort that if no one's in there using it for other things like a meeting that had been scheduled, they ask like kids if they want to move in there for more space. I know that last year I asked for a whiteboard to be added in there, and that got added, and I've heard overwhelming thank goodness for this from the calculus groups, which has been great. I'm not in calculus.
Oh, you're missing a lot.
Thank goodness. I'm in pre-calculus, and that's just about enough for me. But I definitely am all for whiteboard learning, and I'm glad that they have that. So in general, a lot of this data is really positive to me. Even though we have a substantial amount of no's, a very large chunk of them said, I already have access to reading elsewhere, which I see as a positive anyhow, because that means at K-High and at Revilla, we're meeting if kids want a book, they can get it through the interlibrary loan system, which is a positive to me. There was also mentions of Kindles, like people reading online, or the Alaska online library, which I think that's also a great utilization of online media. So a lot of positive feedback, even in the what might be kind of a negative of kids not going. And I think a lot of the second biggest thing I saw is people want more outreach to teens. I saw a lot of people saying that they wish you had a bigger Instagram presence because that's where most kids are. One person mentioned a TikTok, but I don't think we need to go down that rabbit hole. So I think if a heavier presence on Instagram for teen stuff might be appreciated. And then someone mentioned having like a bulletin board at K-High and at Revilla as well. I know that's something that I believe Catlin had been working, or Miss Jacobson had been working on with someone at the library. I think that might be in works. I might have heard that wrong, but if it's not already in works, that might be something to look into.
Right.
But that is really my winter survey. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer.
Diane and then Ina.
Did you happen to ask for gender, or would you consider suggesting to your predecessor, or your predecessor, the person coming after you to do that? Because I'd be real interested in the breakdown for several different reasons about how many are males and how many are females.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be an optional question. Again, my goal with this is to be as anonymous as possible unless they'd like to include their name for the raffle. Just because there were some comments that some people might not want others to know they said that, or it doesn't need to be public record. So yes, but I will probably, if I did include that, like for my spring survey, it might be an optional question. Just because if people don't have a problem
Sure.
answering it, great. If people do, then that gives them the out.
I have some biases which may or may not be right about who uses the library and, you know, would, boys be more likely to use it if they had more books they were interested in? That's my bias. I don't know if it's true. I suspect there's more girls than boys who use the library. So that's why I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I will say I know in asking Mr. Lund, the majority of his sports lit class is boys. So I'm
great.
assuming that the couple kids asking might be boys. But that is all assumption based off of just statistics of boys versus girls in his classes. So I would
And it's-
assume that some of the respondents on here were boys. And for the people that did put names, there were a lot more boys that responded than I expected. Just for the people that did provide names. I will say there was a handful of people that did not provide names. All that means is they didn't get entered for the gift card, but their responses are still counted and in here the same.
Anything else, Dave?
Yeah, your questions are like events and stuff at the library, books in the library. Maybe in the next survey, is there a way you could ask, like, if you don't go to the library, because once that person said Kindle, do you use library services like Libby and Hoopla?
Yes, that would be a great follow-up question. Sorry, I'm gonna jot this down.
Sure.
Yes, I would have to figure out how to work that right. Google Forms is it's something. And so when I'm doing this, I have to do kind of like, this is gonna sound really nerdy, but I took a semester of coding in Minecraft at K High, and that is the only reason I know how to do any of this. But I had to like use like Java to like program this, and yeah. Thank you, DeMello. It was something, but to do that, to make it so that it splits off, and if you answer this a certain way, it takes you here and stuff. So it would definitely be one of those questions where I'd have to be like, if you responded to the last one, no, does it happen to be because of this? And then if they hit yes, then it would take them to the question. But I think that would be a good.
If you went 0 times the library and then it dropped down, like, but did you use library services such as Hoopla or Libby or Scholastic or Comics Plus or anything? That can all be downloaded on their phone.
Yes, that is something I think I should add for the spring. Thank you for that.
It also sounds to me like there might be some good fodder here for talking to the school board.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
I was going to say, if we're talking about the interim, like the working with the Ketchikan Gateway School District libraries, I would be happy to talk to any of this data, especially because it's not just K-High. That is something that I'm very happy I was able to make work this year. Is that last year was only out to K-High because I didn't have a contact at the middle school, and that was just on my end. So this year that I was able to get it out to both it gives me more of an idea of both K-High and Revilla, and students who are just doing online classes through Alaska Digital Academy as well.
Were you able to get a hold of Zach?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was pleased to see the comment about banned books. And I think, this body put a lot of blood and sweat into that issue, and I think it was worthwhile.
Yeah. And that wasn't the only comment that I got about that. But it was the only comment that really had a good chunk. There were some that were just like, I read banned books, period. And that's great. Thank you for telling me. But it just wasn't, it's not like feedback in a way, So there were some other comments like that, that great to hear. There were a lot of comments where I'm like, this is great to know. Wasn't quite an answer to the question, but thank you. And so a lot of this, and sharing with Amy Tupper, when I share this with her, I'm sharing the whole survey, all answers, so she can kind of pick it apart in her brain as well for what that looks like for the team room. But for you guys, I didn't want to just read 102 different answers. I try and shorten it.
And then if I could just, I was going to highlight that as well. And what I'd like to do is actually highlight 2 sentences from this comment. The first one says, I think that by giving books, I think that by having books about uncomfortable subjects is a really good thing. And then towards the bottom, it says, I have learned a lot from some of the books that were under scrutiny. And I appreciate you guys so much for keeping them in your library. So I just really appreciate that feedback. I think it's really powerful when our young people are telling us, I'm learning. Because that's one of the best parts of being a younger person is you learn at a much slower pace, I'm finding as I age. So that's great. So I really appreciate that feedback. And then I do have a question. How long is the survey time period? How long is it open generally?
I would say it kind of varies. Last year when I did it, I would say it was about 2 weeks. This
Okay.
year I would say about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Because I opened it, we went for Thanksgiving break, and when we got back, I think the week after I sent it out. And then everything was so very busy through the end of December. So I kind of checked it. It was sitting at about like 90-ish responses. And so I went through and I double checked with Mr. Garlick as well. I had him do a final push out to KI students. I sent it to I forget his name, Principal over Urbella one more time, and to Zach. And so from there, I got up to that 102, and then I let that sit for a couple days. It stayed at 102 for a couple days, and then I decided I'm gonna close it here so I can get it in time. Long answer to make a long answer short, as much time.
So
And
2 to 4 weeks in general, those what you're
yes,
shooting for?
yes.
And follow up? Is there, I know that the email comes out, but was there like anything at the library that says, hey, don't forget to do the survey?
No, there wasn't. Going forward, I could definitely do that.
Mhm.
My hope was that if I was sending directly to students, that there was, they would be seen in their email, and especially because I also had only announcements, so people were hearing it as
Good,
well.
good.
So
Yeah.
I was hoping that would be enough, but that is another thing I can do. I can put out like
Yeah.
flyers or something.
It's really great information. Great. Any other questions from Ms. President? Yes, Nina?
Sorry, she's writing.
No, cool.
Just a comment, this is a huge amount of work to not just collate numbers, but actually take the answers and identify each one. I mean, that was an amazing amount of work and I really appreciate it. I don't know if I would have done that at your age. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This definitely took some hours.
Yes,
it was
me too.
for some really good feedback, which is what made it work. Yes, it was definitely, and especially I won't lie, last night I was trying to work on the very end of this and my power went out.
Oh,
no. We right in front of our house we have a power pole that had like a power box, and it like lit up in fuses and kind of went, and then one of our power lines like broke off. So I was like trying to type this on an offline Google Doc while watching KP linemen try and fix it, and I'm just like, okay, da da da. And at some point, my mom was like, "You need to go to bed." So that was kind of the end of this survey, but it was a lot of time, but it was worth it to get this kind of response. So kind of like a push and a pull. I'm trying to make it so there's an easier way to collate these numbers and data because I don't want to put this on anybody that comes after me. So I'm trying to find a more, like if there's a website online that kind of gives a better like correlation besides Google Forms or something like that. So that's something I'm researching hopefully before the spring, so I can have a better, something that doesn't take as many hours and physical moving over, because that was what took a lot of the time. But yeah, Nina?
Oh, yeah, my question would be percentage of, I'm assuming most of the respondents were K-high students?
Yes. I didn't ask what school they attended.
Okay.
I think that kind of added to a little bit to the anonymity of it. Like I didn't want to get too specific to who are you, more of in general.
Mhm.
But I would say from me, like looking at the people who did submit their names, majority K-high. I would say upwards of 80% of it was K-high. But there were a few names where I was like, I don't recognize your name. And that either means you're a freshman or that you go to another school and I just haven't met you yet. So I will say 80% about people from K-high, and then 80, like another 20% is probably either kids that go to Rubilla or Alaska Digital Academy, or that I just have them. So that would be my best estimate.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, and thanks again for all that you put into this. This is really great information. Thank you. Okay, do we need a quick break before we carry on? How are we doing? We're ready to rock
I'm
and roll?
gonna stand up while,
Sure.
I don't need to leave. I just-
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want?
We'll do a. Oh, yeah. Okay, very good. All right, well, thank you for all of the informative reports. We're on to item 10, which is work session review. Work session to review the old lab bylaws and operating practices. So let me read what we have, and then we'll move into work session. So from the October 8th meeting notes, the consensus was to develop a simple set of bylaws for the library advisory board that includes things that are not included in the lab ordinance. The ordinance can only be changed by vote of the council. The bylaws may be changed by the library advisory board if needed. The ordinance will always take precedence over the bylaws. The motion passed was Ms. Montgomery moved to make this a future agenda item. Ms. Govar seconded, and that's where we're at. So we'll go ahead. I think we need a motion to move in the work session, right?
You're on.
Yeah.
You're on it.
Oh, no.
I move into work session to discuss the library bylaws.
Excellent. We have a motion
Second.
and we have second. Any discussion? Okay.
So, Mildred,
I,
the Pilgrim.
Aye.
Echohawk,
Yes.
Bowling,
Yes.
Dahl,
yes.
Finnegan,
Yes.
Hops.
I,
So we are in work session, which is relaxed, format. Now, since I wasn't at the last library advisory board meeting, probably I could use some help, I guess, getting up to speed. So if anybody feels pretty confident on the direction we need to go, I will follow your lead. Or I'll just barrel.
Sherry and Kate were the two that.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
so I can just describe what we have here.
Okay.
Started off with the ordinance itself, so we know what's in the ordinance and doesn't have to be in the bylaws.
Yeah.
And then, after 2 pages of that, we go on to the very incomplete, and I think they were always unofficial, operating rules and bylaws. And then, thank you to everybody who looked that over and made suggestions for, what should be in the bylaws. That's the last section of this packet. And it is the colorful section. Because it's different color for each person's comments. I didn't want to leave anybody out. A lot of them are very similar, like duties of the chair, duties of the vice chair. Those are, all those comments were very similar. So that's what we're looking at. And I think, we were thinking about doing the bylaws, as sort of a supplement, because we have made over the past several meetings, decisions about how to elect officers and other, activities that are not in the ordinance, but we may want to have them documented somewhere. It might be useful to have them documented in one place. So,
Yes. Jane.
So that everybody understands the standing of this, the operating rules and bylaws, is that at the last meeting, I made the motion that it marked unofficial, that it has no standing.
Sure. Thank you.
So,
yeah.
it's not like we have to work with this document.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that. So I guess, any discussion on the items specifically? Shall we just go through each one? So we can do. So item 1 The recommendation is all members of the board may vote all matters unless a conflict of interest occurs. So this was one of the ones that was already previously decided, so we're just putting it in here, okay? So then would we need, okay. So then if we, just for procedural, if we adopt any of this when we come out of work session, could we do like a batch, just of the ones that we agreed on?
Yeah, I would think.
Okay, so on this one, has already basically been decided, so we're just gonna add that in. So I'll start as the first item in the batch. Okay? Item number 2, membership. Item B, term length and vacancies. We have 3 different proposals. Did anybody want to speak on theirs? Yes, Diane?
I actually wanted to pop out the composition because in the
Okay.
city ordinance, I didn't see anything about the 2 at-large seats mentioned in the ordinance. So if I read that correctly, then do we want to include that in the advisory board, or do they need to change the ordinance, or unless I read that wrong, but I read it about 3 different times.
So then, the proposal would be for,
I don't know what to propose for sure.
well, because we have one, basically outline each, we have library advisory or friends of the library, city, borough, high school.
They're all here except the at-large position.
Yeah.
And maybe we have to go back to the city council and ask them to amend it or something, I don't know, but I noticed that when I was reading it.
Well, I guess if we're referencing the Ketchikan Municipal Code, it should probably, I would think it would start there, get them update it, and then we would just continue to reference the code. What do you think?
I'm not sure that change the ordinance is necessary.
Okay.
In terms of, I think what's implied here, and pardon my voice, is that of the 9 members of the board, if it's fully impaneled, is that 5 are as stipulated by the ordinance, and the remaining 4 aren't restrained by any condition with respect to being an at-large member of the board. So
Okay.
that's my understanding of it. I could consult with the city attorney.
It's not worded well.
It's perhaps not worded well, but I do, my take on this would be that the 5 prescribed conditions are sufficient, and the remaining 4 seats are the quote-unquote at-large members.
Okay.
Then I'd say it needs to be reworded, because I read this and it's not clear from this at all.
In the code, then? The
Yeah.
code needs to be clearer.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe we can see what if this city attorney has thoughts on it.
I can, yeah, I'm happy to pursue that.
Appreciate it. Okay, so term length, so 2B, term lengths and vacancies. We have 3 proposals. Let's see, one from Jack, the term of the board will generally begin on the April meeting and end on the January meeting of the respective term. The term of the high school students will be from July 1st through June 30th. Pretty straightforward. Any other input on that, Mr. Finnegan?
No.
Okay, and then we have from Ms. Pat, the 1-year term of the city council and borough assembly representative will begin with the January meeting and end with the October meeting of their respective terms. So would these be combined together?
It could be, right.
Okay. And then we have,
And
yes.
if that person's term ends in October, it could be that the board would need to meet about other things in November and December. Could we have that person ending December 31st?
Sure. Yeah. So, but there's a possibility, if we're talking about the city and borough assembly, correct?
Mhm.
Because they could be off the borough
Right.
or city assembly in November.
Tie them.
Oh, right.
November, yeah, like
Right.
November
Correct.
7th or something.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's October.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think in that unique scenario, which I think would be pretty rare, if something comes up and we may just have to run short.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we have the largest, item from Miss Gobars. No, wait.
No, I think it's
Oh, that's
Diane.
Diane. I'm sorry. Yeah, Diane.
Oh, I
Um,
forgot I wrote this.
Yeah, yeah, you wanna-
This did not look familiar.
Yeah, you wanna eyeball it again and give us your thoughts on it?
I don't know if I have the dates right. I was doing this from Arizona and I didn't
Oh.
have the previous minutes, so I think the dates probably aren't quite right. But, and I think the last sentence probably doesn't need to be there because it is part of the ordinance. So I would delete that, and I think that the dates probably could be
Right.
either more like the purple or the blue one, or
Okay.
both.
Yeah, so maybe if we adopted the purple and the blue, that would also cover yours.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving right along.
Oh, can I do a
Oh, yes,
One
yes,
work
yes.
session, right? I can just ask.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I guess one of the clarifying terms, because I've had this come up a couple times, is that the red at least says until a successor is appointed or for the 3-year terms and stuff, because I keep getting appointed for Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because I started off as an at-large and then
Yeah.
I got appointed by Friends and then none of the other Friends wanted to do it again. So I'm on my second Friends term, so I might like until the Friends, because that red at least includes like a successor. At what point is there no Friends representative?
So
Because that's more than a 3-year term.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't say they can't have consecutive
Mhm.
3-year terms though.
Okay.
There's something in the ordinance.
The mayor is going to decide whether or not they want you to do a second term. Because the mayor is the one that ultimately will okay everything.
That's
The only
just
one that
lifted from the
applies.
ordinance,
Yeah.
actually,
Mhm.
is where that came from.
Well, first, I appreciate your to the library advisory board. So
That's your
then,
chair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then the, what are you proposing that?
I guess I was looking for some clarification because I think we asked, are we within code or is this
Yeah.
a problem? Because when I went to the Friends meeting and they said, okay, we unanimously agree that Nina should be it again. I came back and I was like, am I allowed to do that? So yeah, it just says until an successor is appointed. That was the only part that stuck out as something that could be applied to, because you guys on the council in the borough, you guys get assigned like for 1 year. And even if you get another term, you still might not be assigned to this one.
Depends on the mayor.
It depends on the mayor, yeah.
I think you're serving in
Perpetuity.
Perpetuity, yeah.
yeah,
Perpetuity.
you're just done.
So then maybe could we do, because we'll generally begin April meeting January of their respective term or until a successor is appointed. Is it, you think on that very first sentence of the purple?
Mhm. But so does that only apply to the Friends or is the high school's only 1 term? The at-large is only 3 terms.
So shall we like have a specific, like a line,
3 terms
just
is
for
9
the,
years.
Yeah. Been doing this a while.
so maybe if we put in specifically the Friends of the
Yeah,
Library?
that was just something
Yeah.
clarifying, because they have to be a member of the Friends and the Friends have to approve them. And then that person puts it to the mayor, because you can't just, anyone can't put it. You have to be a Friends member.
Okay. So we put maybe the terms. Well, is the Friends of the Library, is that a 1-year term? Or is that 3-year?
For here, I don't know. I've been on the front for years. So there's no, I don't have a chair position. I don't have a elected position
Right.
on the board. So it's
Whatever.
Let me point out, it says must be a member of the Friends of the Ketchikan Public Library. It does not say a board member.
Mhm, yeah.
So, and right now, who is a friend of the library? It's pretty loose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not
so-
like we collect dupes.
Right.
You used to.
We used
Yeah.
to, yeah. But right now, we want your help and your support rather than money.
So like if just somebody attends a meeting. for the thing,
Or they volunteer for 2 hours at a book
at
sale,
a book
you
sale.
know.
Or if they go to a book sale and buy some of your collectible
Well,
or
we-
thing from their library.
Or they give us their old books. We need all of those people,
Yeah.
you know.
So you might have the largest membership on the island. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
okay, so then, I guess then for, specifically for the Friends of the Library, we would say, the Friends of the Library will have Nina in perpetuity until, or for a term, I guess should we just say it's technically a 1-year term? And then until a successor is appointed? I don't know, what do you think?
I
And
think
we
we
could,
voted
we could
every 3
basically
years.
take the term of a Friends of the Library member shall be for 1 year or until a successor is appointed.
I don't see anything in the ordinance about it being just 1 year.
Mhm,
It just is in the paragraph about city council and the team member
mhm.
and so forth, but
I think it was a 3-year term.
I think.
Oh, originally.
Yeah.
originally it
3-year
was a
term,
3-year.
and then,
Okay.
yeah, and then we opened it up. And then,
So then we do a member of the term of a member of the Friends of the Library should be for 3 years or until a successor is appointed.
Thank you, yes, perfect.
Okay, the term of a member of the. Friends of the Library shall be, okay, perfect, okay, good. So we have the purple, we have the blue, and then we have the red, the first sentence of red, repurposed for Friends of the Library. Okay,
Mr. Chair?
yes, ma'am.
I, just so I'm understanding this process, you are writing the wording for each of these our guidelines to enrich what the city says we absolutely need to do. So you are reading this, although we're gonna bounce something off the Seaver, right? And then, so we're not gonna pass anything tonight, but we're gonna create the wording tonight and maybe run the wording, everything by, or no,
Yes,
and then
Jack?
next meeting, we vote on it.
I think it's entirely the purview of the Library Advisory Board to determine its own operating bylaws and procedures.
Mhm.
I think the only thing we need to contact the city attorney about or bring to the council for that matter is anything that might impact the city ordinance that guides
Specifically.
this board.
Okay.
So, because there's some question about the clarity,
Clarifying that.
clarifying language around the membership.
Yeah.
I think that's an inquiry I'll put to the city attorney. Beyond that, though, I think we're entirely within our purview to establish these
So we can
bylaws.
write it tonight, pass it tonight.
Yes, we can.
That was my understanding.
And you are writing it?
That's true. I am.
Thank you.
So, yes. There may be a challenge of me being able to read my writing at the end, so please send
I
us
bet
maybe some backup
Director
notes.
Tully is also probably taking notes.
I am, I've got my computer taking notes for me,
Perfect.
so,
All right,
yes.
Thank you. So we didn't have anything listed for attendance. Then we had officers, and this one was a doozy. So what do we have? Okay. So Barry had contributions for each. I think just for those joining us at home, I'll go and read what Miss
Montgomery.
With what Ms. Montgomery had written, for officers, 3A, elections, the board members shall elect a chair and a vice chair at their annual organization meeting in January, which would be, this evening's meeting. The library director or approved staff member shall serve as secretary. Individual elections of chair and vice chair will be by paper ballot. All nominated candidates shall be considered at the same time, and the person receiving the most votes. And the person receiving the most votes shall be declared the winner. In the event of a tie, second to vote of the top candidates will determine the winner. Two members who are not up for consideration shall count the votes. Ballots shall be legibly signed by the voter. Elected officers will immediately assume their role following the elections. All 9 members of the board are voting members. So this is essentially what we've already established, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is where we've already done that. We just put it down in writing. So then we have, let's see. I'm unclear if I think that's orange. So
Yep.
that's Mr. Finnegan.
Mhm.
Anything you want to contribute, add in with your section?
No, I'm content with it as written.
Let's see, secretary, the annual election shall take place. It's essentially though the same. Let's see, board.
The next, if I may, the next 3 submissions are essentially identical. One distinction would be that I reduced the interval of consecutive terms for the chair or for the officers from 2 years to 1.
Okay, may serve 2 consecutive terms and they thereafter may be re-elected after an interval of 1 year.
Which is my suggestion. The following 2, which are otherwise identical, keeps the interval at 2 years, which is how it was previously written. I don't know that a 2-year interval is necessary for the kind of work that we do on this board. I thought 1 year would be sufficient, but I'm not
Sure.
married to that, I'm with 2 years. I just don't think it's necessary.
Yes.
I like that idea. I also actually like A, where there is no secretary elected, because the more I thought about that, why do we need a secretary?
Yeah.
So I would support A in that particular area.
Okay, so in this case, so then, yes, Nina?
So you're saying keep the green without the secretary, but I would ask if we could add the officers may serve for 2 consecutive terms and thereafter maybe for an interval of 1 year. Would Jack add, just keep his last line,
Okay.
add it to the green?
I like that.
Okey dokey.
Mr. Kohak, I have a question. I'm
Sure.
sorry, we're still in work session.
Yeah. so-
I think, well, it does say on the second line of the green, the library director or approved staff members shall serve as secretary. I just thought it should be clear, like who is approving, like the library directed or their
Oh, okay, they're
uh,
designated.
designated,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
This implies that we elect our persons in January. Hasn't it always been April?
I don't,
I believe,
I think, has it been? Because I
Yeah.
think it was,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
I think
otherwise we'd be having that on our agenda tonight.
Well, we do have
It's
it on
do.
our agenda tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had talked about that at our last meeting and had decided that January was the more logical time.
it was right after elections.
Right.
It's right after,
I think.
with new
that's-
members.
That's right.
Mhm.
I think that's what we landed.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we are comfortable with codifying it, to be January. Green language, adding the last sentence, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry, for the most recent edition, or the most recent piece,
Green section, and then the last sentence of the orange, whatever
Right.
Jack's color is, officers.
okay? And then, so to clarify, so I'm finishing my second year as board chair. So if this passes, it would be an interval a year to then, if I wanted to, or somebody wanted to reelect me no, not reelect me,
Reappoint you as an officer.
as an officer, then that would be the gap.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
Could you not be a vice chair?
Oh,
You're
okay,
stepping down from the chair.
right.
Are you not eligible under this for the vice?
Officers may serve 2 consecutive terms. I guess that could be open for interpretation on either end.
I think that would be,
Making this,
that would be permissible.
Okay,
If
So
someone
in the
serves as
same
chair, they can
position.
become vice
Okay.
chair.
Could you say officers may serve
kinda
for
makes
2
sense with the vice
consecutive
chair
terms in the
being
same
a
position?
I like
Sure.
that, in 2 consecutive
I'm sorry,
That would
Diane, I missed what you
clarify
said.
terms.
Oh, I said you could insert for the same in the same
Mhm.
position, and then that will clarify that.
Okay,
So maybe just add to the Jack's last
Mhm.
sentence, officers may serve for 2 consecutive terms in the
Mhm.
same position
Yeah.
and may thereafter, et cetera.
perfect. Yep, I like that. Okay, so then we feel good about all of our colors and adjustments in officers.
Yes.
Okay. Duties of the chair. The chair shall preside over all the meetings and shall be responsible for initiating and or preparing an agenda for each meeting with the library director extraordinaire.
Those 3 are identical.
Yes,
except
those
for
3 are
wording.
all the same.
Yeah.
One says director of the library, the other says,
Library
library
director.
director. Other than that, they're identical.
Which do you prefer to be?
Oh, probably library director.
Okay.
So we'll go with green. Okay, very good. Duties of the vice chair, the vice,
Same.
they're all the same. Yeah, oh, they are all the same. Yep, so we'll go with green. Duties, okay, have we decided to ixnay the secretary position?
Yep.
I would prefer to.
Okay,
Just
so we're
Keep the
gonna,
purple, where it says the task of taking minutes and records.
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
So we'll go to the discretion of the board. Okay, perfect. Keeping the purple. Very good.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Is that things you've already been doing, not an additional workload to you? Like,
Oh, for secretarial? Yes, and that's pretty common for city advisory boards, is that staff does the secretarial. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, sounds good. So off to section 4, meetings. References the code shall quarterly, let's see, is needed the chair absence, acting chair shall determine, shall meet, okay, just where, okay. But was this where we were going to have a discussion about possibly moving the day?
I think so.
So I know I believe we started that discussion in July. Was a date that we landed, yeah, go ahead, Jack.
Well, the city council took our suggested change to the
Right.
ordinance and approved that change.
Right.
So now it's the library advisory board's
So
discretion.
at our discretion.
I don't know that-
within that month.
Correct.
That we decided.
Still, the only things that are dictated by the policy, by the city ordinance are, that they're quarterly meetings, that they happen in these particular months.
So January, April,
So
July.
I think
and
we as a
October,
board have the discretion to
Okay.
decide on the day or the date.
Okay,
My personal view is leaving it as such gives the board some flexibility for evaluating people's schedules and deciding, even on a quarterly basis, when do we want to have our next meeting?
Yeah.
I think that would be to our advantage rather than stipulating what day of the week or what have you. That's my view.
sound good?
I would find it difficult to plan my attendance if we didn't have something scoped out at least for 6 months in advance. Like I flew back from Arizona specifically for this meeting. And I would have been sorely disappointed if the meeting had been changed. But it seems to me we need like to know which conflicts there are
Yeah.
and then go from there and pick days.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, that was discussed.
Yeah.
That even though we have the flexibility that we were gonna plan out
Mhm.
the best possible days into the future. But I don't know if we did the legwork to get those, conflicts for this meeting, so maybe we can add it to the next meeting.
Okay.
Is this something that we could do via email, communication and say in April, we're planning out our meetings, can we get the conflicts, potential conflicts and put together the days, and then in the April meeting, we'll go, I think that'd be a good time to then plan out maybe the rest of the year.
Okay.
Like a
Okay.
doodle poll.
Yeah,
or
like a doodle poll or
something.
something,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I think we just have to be really careful.
Public notice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. well, public notice and also, that we're not kind of, that everything is going through me.
Yes.
And that there's no like cross discussion.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay.
So if there's a way to, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
what do you guys think?
I think for April would make sense,
Okay.
as long as we have things
Yeah.
figured out for the other 3 meetings.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Um,
I like it.
this is just me thinking ahead. If we did approve to change the 1-year term for the teen representative,
Mhm.
that April meeting would be the outgoing team's last meeting. So when we did the poll, they would be the one determining availability for the next year, even though they wouldn't be there.
I don't know if it would always be April.
I don't think so. I
Okay,
It
think,
would be
that's-
April
I think
this year.
ideally it'd be January
Okay,
during
then,
the
yeah,
organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think then, since this was a recent change, I just think we weren't have everything all lined up for this meeting.
Okay.
Yes, Jim.
I hope the rest of the board, likes having their meetings in this room. I think when we made the switch from the library to here, it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
We all have access to a microphone and the public has the podium. It's much easier than when we're trying to share one microphone with the public. As you recall, it got a little nasty.
Yeah.
So, I think we are doing the business of the city. I think it's very appropriate that we have a venue that provides us, for example, we're on television. People can see what we do for themselves. So I think it's well worth hanging on to this room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we need to consider the use of this room.
Yeah.
As well
Availability,
as what's a good night for the rest of
Yeah,
us.
Right.
sure.
Right. Now, I have to say, the clerk's office has been amazing.
Yeah.
They've been very accommodating.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We can bump a city council meeting every once in okay, sounds good. So I think we have a plan for scheduling out
Mhm.
into the future.
Yeah.
I agree, getting some dates down that we can all plan for,
Yeah.
but I do like having the flexibility of anytime within those months. I think that was a good call by this board.
So we're doing orange or red. I'm having trouble with this too. Oh, red.
Yeah, right, yep. And then, next is annual organization meeting, which is January, shall consist of organizational items, including but not limited to officer elections, date, time, locations. Oh, yeah, this is where we originally,
Oh, just for that, Red, did you want a line about, with the scheduling in January or like planning the year or making that
Well-
in January?
I think that's
It's part of the annual organizational,
yeah,
the one underneath it, the green.
Thank you. Yep,
Dates for
yep,
follow-up
sorry,
meetings,
thank you,
so-
guys, sorry. I was too slow.
yeah, no worries. Yep, so the very next item covers, typically in January, we would do the date, time, location scheduling for the next quarterly meetings, as well as any potential follow-up meetings that would be reserved 2 weeks after each regular meeting, for in case any of the original meetings, for some reason, we don't meet quorum or there's a storm or something. So, that all sound good? Any questions?
The meeting length, is that something we want to adopt, or is that part of the ordinance? I didn't see it in the ordinance.
It's not in the ordinance.
Not in the ordinance. It's something I think we talked about in a meeting a year or so ago.
I like it, that's,
Yeah.
and we haven't
Yeah.
talked about it, so that's.
If I remember right, it was entirely my fault because I had a bedtime. And I remember we were talking about.
We all have that.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that I had homework in school the next day and so we
Yeah.
recapped it. And I think that's how the conversation
Yeah,
began.
we did try to get us out, what, by 8? Was it,
I think
like, there
so.
was it
No.
nine?
I think it
Was
was
it 9?
9.
It was
It
9,
says
and if we
9,
went
yeah.
past 9,
Oh,
we had to
man.
vote to continue.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, I like that, and also, because if there's all sorts of public speakers,
Mhm.
we might have to have a different meeting, but it won't
Okay.
be here until midnight.
Mhm.
So right here it says till 10 PM, so let's change that to 9. Is that Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. I think as it stands is pretty well written. I think Diane makes a great point. If we have an hour or 2 hours of public comment, we still want an hour or 2 hours opportunity to deliberate and discuss.
Okay.
So I think if we have, if we go till 9 o'clock, we have the option to vote to extend for an additional hour with a hard cap at 10 p.m.
Mhm.
DeMello makes a comment that coffee can fix that.
That's the melon. So I may have lost sight of where we're at then. Because what I'm seeing, it says meeting length shall be limited. Oh, okay. I'm back up with you guys. Okay, yep, sounds good.
We probably should include the Robert's Rules of Orders, or is.
That's
I thought
That's
that
in
It's a
was,
party.
parliamentary procedure.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
us.
skipped ahead a little.
yeah.
Okay, perfect, okay. So parliamentary, yep, procedures. That the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order shall prevail at all meetings, but may be observed informally as a matter of convenience. So I'll add a little bit of my own personal thoughts on that. I like being a little bit flexible, keeping things moving forward, but not being far too rigid too often. So I like how this is worded.
On that note, I think Kate's language in purple
Mhm.
below that green, I think it conveys the same idea, but incorporates more of the flexibility.
Okay, so, I agree. So do y'all feel good about adopting Kate's language?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the meeting length, we're all in agreement there? Okay,
I was just looking back at B and like the wording in it, if we could maybe roll that into 3A. It's really nicely worded.
Where are you?
Oh, composition?
Your officer, yeah. And
Where are you?
elections. It's really nicely worded, whoever wrote it.
So you're looking at 3.
Rolling 4B into 3A or putting it in there, it
Oh, I
just
see.
reads nicely. I'm also gonna say something here that I guess, I think before we vote on it, we should really like see the actual copy of it,
Sure, yeah.
rather than
Like
vote
put-
on it tonight.
Put it all together.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so you're saying, so 4B, we keep 4B where it's at, but also take the same language and adopt it into the 3A
yeah,
language?
yeah,
Okay.
put it in there where appropriate. I think it would probably, it's just.
Yeah.
I think it explains things really well.
And Miss Pat? Yeah. Okay, very good. So item 5, amendments, Pittsburgh Municipal Code. So we'll go ahead, and Ms. Montgomery's comments were provisions for the Ketchikan Municipal Code are primary and will prevail in all conflict, in any conflict arising between KM's, the Ketchikan Municipal Code, and these operating rules and guidelines. Revisions to the Ketchikan Municipal Code must be formally brought forth to council as a board. After approval by the Ketchikan City Council, amendments to the Ketchikan Municipal Code may be updated in this document and provided to the board prior to the next scheduled meeting. And then Jack, yours are basically the same, just a little truncated, basically saying that that the code is primary will prevail. Council.
This language is, I think, I adopted from the original set of bylaws.
Mhm.
You'll see the case language is identical to my own. I think Sherry's, I think she adopted it the same way that I did.
Mhm.
I'm partial to the way, personally, for matters like these, I think shorter is sweeter.
Mhm.
And I think I understand why, I don't want to assume, but I think I understand why Sherry included some of the procedures that might be in place for approval by city council. I think all of that is implied.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need to stipulate it verbally. I don't know, we need to articulate it in the bylaws.
Yeah.
I think it's already in place.
In the green section with the second sentence, which says revisions to the KMC, I suggest we modify that by saying proposed revisions or suggested revisions, because we really have very little authority about what the KMC says.
Or could we just adopt Jack's and then we wouldn't have to address it?
Right. And mine is just the one that was already there. I mean, it was-
It
I-
has the advantage of brevity.
So, yeah, I lean towards, just affirming what's already there for the reasons that Jack had outlined. Anybody else, would like to add to that or go with the other proposal?
Just make sure I'm reading this right. The only difference between yours and Kate's is that she, in her last sentence, says, and operating rules and bylaws, and you just say, and operating rules.
Oh, yeah.
I that's like the only difference, like, is I don't see the need
Yeah.
that bylaws need to be mentioned.
I think it's a distinction, not a difference.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, that's right. Wanted to make sure that I was reading that right and that I didn't miss anything.
But I bet that's what a lawyer would do.
Yeah, and again, it's, as noted, these will be unofficial. I mean, there's, as already stated, we're an advisory board, very little authority. We're just, we do want to be as orderly and as possible, make it easier for those coming behind us. So, okay.
Yeah.
I think we're probably one of the funnest boards here.
Don't
So,
tell the shame.
Orange. Sorry.
so, yeah, I think orange.
As it stands.
As it stands, yep, following the existing. Okay, library advisory board guidelines, guidelines not in the Ketchikan Municipal Code may be changed by motion from any member of the board with affirmative concurrence by a majority of the board at any duly constituted meeting of the board. Need those glasses. Amendments to this document must be updated and provided to the board prior to the next scheduled meeting, while the next two are, I'm assuming, are also what's already in there, because I didn't compare these to the others. Okay. These operating rules may be changed by motion by any member of the board with affirmative concurrence by the majority of the board at any duly constituted meeting.
Again, the only difference there is Kate says these rules. Says these operating rules.
So I think personally, I think continuing with, again, affirming what's already in place serves the purposes of what we're trying to accomplish.
And if Jack's is the orange, that's the most concise of the three, and so
I would agree.
be a good choice.
Yes, Nina?
I have a question back on a membership 2C for attendance, the first page.
First page, yep.
We didn't do any changes to that, but the ordinance says any board member who misses more than 3 regular meetings in any 12 consecutive month period without being excused by the board shall automatically forfeit membership on the board. I mean, 3 meetings is still.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could we add something saying like if you miss the meetings, or because he's also unexcused, like if someone just
Yeah.
stops coming, do we have any option to fill their seat?
It's just a calendar year,
Yeah, we only have 4 meetings a year.
right?
So if you miss 3,
You've missed all this.
yeah.
So do we want to put, so the question, do we want to put it to 50% of the scheduled meetings?
Well, I'm just curious of what the board thinks of adding anything to the attendance expectation.
Well, since it's in the municipal code, we can't change that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to change that. I mean, that's for meetings when they have 2 meetings a month, you know, that they're missing. Ours are only 4 meetings total, so.
Yeah.
Would it be reasonable to let it lie unless we started having problems?
I like that idea.
Because
Just
I-
curious.
I mean, I've seen, a few times I've been, I've seen pretty good attendance at these meetings. People seem to take their responsibility seriously.
Nina, can I ask, where did you find that language again? Was it in the code?
Yeah, it was on from the city municipal code on the back.
On the back
It's
portion
G, yep, it's
G.
G.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I think just by virtue of the fact that at the end of our operating rules, we stipulate that the code prevails over the operating rules, then it's.
And we don't have any
It's
enforcement or anything.
It's folded in essentially.
Yeah.
It's us saying that here are our rules, which are subsequent to the city code. City code tells this thing that you're describing.
So it's not a problem until it's a problem.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that was all the items presented. Anything else while we're in work session? Okay, and then so the next steps would be to compile all this and have it all as a single actionable item for our next meeting. But also at our next meeting, we're gonna need to plan, schedule out the at least probably 3 meetings in advance in the
Right.
future. Okay,
Yes.
all right, that sounds good. But that also means that if what we can change the next meeting, it doesn't have to be on Wednesday. We can figure out a way to communicate via email. Okay,
Right.
all right. I think I'm right there with you. Okay, anything else before we get out of work session? And if not, do I need a motion to get out of work session? I think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay, so then with that, we will end work session. And so now we're on to item 11, organizational business. Yes.
May I ask for a short recess?
Oh, yeah, and yeah, we'll do a short recess.
No, I need.
Yeah. So we'll call recess in 5 minutes.
Sounds great.
Oh,
What a
we're good.
professional.
All right.
Good.
Well, we are back from a quick break to continue with the meeting. So now we are on to item 11, but item 11A and B were have already been accounted for to be moved to their next meeting. So that's already been moved over. That was the bylaws and operating practices and both the 2026 meetings, date, time, and location. Those will be compiled and brought forth for the next meeting. And then for item 11C, change of 1-year term for team representative to July to June. That was brought forth by Ms. Pilgrim from our October 8th meeting. Do you want to fill us in on that, or we're update on getting mayor's approval for the extended term?
I've got that update.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. The mayor is fully on board with this proposed change.
Okay.
In fact, he's on board with both elements of it, that we shift the term and that we invite Sophia to fill in the interim when we shift the end date for the current term that she is serving. It'll be formalized, probably not at tomorrow's council meeting, just in advance of the conclusion of Sophia's current term. He asked for information in writing from me. Sophia supplied me with the bullet points from the discussions she brought to our previous meeting. I've sent those to the mayor. If he doesn't address it tomorrow night, and he may not because we're in a bit of a crisis right now with our leadership situation, but we have plenty of time between the February and March meetings to get that on the books before our next term gets underway.
Okay, perfect.
So that's all
it's
sailing forward.
It's all moving forward, so that's great. Okay, so that, any other items on that discussion point?
Not from me.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's see, so now we're ready to do nominations and elections. We do have 1.5 board members gone, not here. So I guess, do we have any nominations? Yeah, let's open up the floor for nominations and see how we
Where'd
do.
you get 1.5?
Well, sorry.
I know, I was really.
Because Ms. Montgomery was saying that she has to reapply, right? So she's not here, but she may be back. So 1.5. But what we can do is open up the floor. As previously discussed, I am completing my second year as board chair. So I would be ineligible for the chair position, but I would be eligible for vice chair, just as point of information. Do we have, if I remember correctly, we open up the floor for nominations. If the person accepts the nomination, then we open it up for a paper ballot vote as discussed in the bylaws. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question through the chair. What members are here through the next full year? Because I thought there was some people's terms expiring.
There is, it's on here somewhere. I saw it.
June and Sherry.
Yeah.
As well.
And June is not requesting to be extended.
Okay. So-
I'm expiring.
And then technically, Jack
My
and
term ends in
term
October.
ends in October,
Mhm.
your term ends in October. So, slim pickings. So,
Could
yes, oh, go ahead, yes.
you raise your hand?
I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
I would like to nominate Mr. Echo Hawk for vice chair position. He's willing to accept.
Sure, I'd accept that.
Do we need a second for the nomination?
I
I don't think for nomination.
I
Okay.
have a
Oh, it's
question of
accepted.
clarification. Even though you guys aren't here for the full year, you can go to October because then we re-elect someone because it's only one term in January. So you could essentially do the next 3 meetings,
Mhm.
even if you're
Yeah.
one year seat.
And the
That's
vice
true.
president could chair the January meeting.
Correct. And then we have elections again.
I suppose that's true.
Do you not want it to be true?
I was like, rats.
I might have to call the city attorney on that one.
Postponed.
In my position, I would really like to see a citizen in the chair spot.
We could nominate Kate.
Actually, I think it would depend in part on when that October meeting was scheduled, because the
Mm.
municipal elections are usually the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
or end of the first week of
That's true.
October. So
October.
unless the
Yeah.
meeting preceded the municipal elections, I don't think it would be wise to have either the borough liaison or the city
Mm.
liaison.
A smooth jam.
Yeah.
Not that I don't believe in the library advisory commission,
$5.
just have a lot on my plate.
Yes.
You know, truly, I wish we had spoken to Kate ahead of time.
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't taken action on the proposed bylaws,
Mhm.
so they don't exist today.
That's true.
Right.
So
Isn't there something in the ordinance about that?
I don't think there
Not
is,
in the
as far as,
ordinance.
nope, not in the
Okay.
ordinance.
Now, yeah, because,
Words are spinning in my head.
I mean, right now,
Mhm.
it can be consecutive
Mhm.
term. So I withdraw my nomination.
Oh,
And I do think also one of the benefits, as we discussed, of being flexible in this, in the library advisory board, is that if we need to adjust later on at another meeting, I think we can. As things, as we shuffle new people coming in, because it sounds like we're gonna have a lot of shuffling this year.
Mhm.
So if it pleases the board, maybe we could keep things in place as is and then decide for a future date for a nomination, election of officers. Yes.
We don't have a vice right now because Charlie was our,
All right, Charlie
we
was the
don't.
vice.
yeah.
That's
So
So actually, if we could vote on a chair, then we would be covered for the year, and we can vote on a vice then.
later. I think that since these have not been adopted and started, like no counting clock has begun.
They have no weight.
right, they have no standing.
So we're starting from scratch.
I think we need a vice though, because Grant may
Mhm.
not always be available to be here like last meeting.
Oh,
We really
definitely.
Need a
Mhm.
vice.
Oh, you mean from this group?
Mhm.
So I'd like to nominate Diana as vice and Grant as chair.
I'm not good enough with Robert's Rules of Orders. I'm like hanging on Grant and Jack's every word, trying to figure out how it works. That's the
Well,
truth.
If that's all it is, I think everybody is comfortable supporting and saying, you know, for any reason, if I'm not here, on the thing, if you're willing to.
That's truly the only thing,
Yeah.
but I,
And honestly, you have people here pretty familiar with Robert's rules. But the chair's job is just to run an organized meeting. You can do that.
yeah.
If the occasion arises. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn.
But if somebody else would like to run for that office, I would be more than happy to support their campaign. Mina, why are you laughing? Are you gonna speak up?
Because I've been thrown under the bus a lot of times. I
Well,
was
at least it's a
nominated
library
by
bus.
half of the board, and then they said, "Wait, do you want this?" And I said, "No, I withdraw."
So,
Remember that?
yes,
Mr. Chair, I, just a consideration, I think it might be to our advantage to keep you in place, since we're not under these bylaws as yet.
Yeah.
As acting chair,
Okay.
or as chair,
Mhm.
until the next meeting, when we hopefully will have a better representation of the board in full and can decide on the officers from a larger pool with more voting, with more voices put towards
So
that vote.
essentially,
I think if we're, you know, if, in the absence of an appointed vice chair, I think if we found ourselves in a situation where if you were for whatever reason unable to attend the meeting, I don't think we're running too far afoul of the rules to appoint someone to serve as the chair in the event of your absence and the absence of an appointed vice chair. I know there was one occasion when Councilmember Gage was serving as vice mayor. The mayor was out of town. Councilmember Gage had a medical episode and was unable to lead the meeting, and we simply appointed a chair pro tem to lead the meeting that evening.
okay.
So
Could we put that in our proposed bylaws for future? It seems like it would be something good to memorialize in our operating procedures.
Or is that
I
just
could put
following
it
Robert's
through.
rules?
I think it's essentially following Robert's rules.
Is it? Okay.
So
See, I
then,
don't know anything about it.
so essentially, then it sounds like probably organizational business, item A, item B, and item D will be moved over to the next meeting,
Mhm.
and will everything remain as is from now until the next meeting.
Mhm.
This is to require a motion.
You know,
Yeah,
I
actually
think
would.
so.
I think
Okay.
so.
This would be items B,
items A,
B, and D.
Yep.
Um,
So it's a
Right.
Your Honor, I'd
Make the
like to make a motion that we defer items 11A, 11B, and 11D until our next meeting in April.
Second.
perfect. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. So the motion has been made to move items 11A, 11B, and 11D to our next meeting. We can take roll.
Okay, Pilgrim,
Yes.
Echo
Yes,
Hawk,
Yes.
let's see, Bowling,
Yes.
Dahl,
I,
Finnegan,
Yes.
Ups,
Aye.
Wildren.
I,
Guys have it.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, then we're moving on to item 11E, which is Library Advisory Board members' terms ending. So as Miss June had already stated, hers will be, your term will be ending in June, correct?
no.
Oh, what the heck?
This is your last
Oh, what the heck? Oh, it's your last meeting.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't have a cake or nothing? Can stack some Boston cream?
Been celebrating.
All right, well, thank you very much for
Yes.
all you put in.
Absolutely.
Well, 6 years ago, Pat said, we need a chair, and I thought, I could do that. And our meetings
And
were
you
like
did.
30 minutes long.
Yeah.
We read the minutes and then
Mm-hmm.
we, Pat gave a report on the library and we were done. And then COVID hit, that
Mhm.
was challenging. And then the drag queen came to the library and
Mhm.
life has never been the same. But I'm so proud of what this board did during that really difficult time. Trying to, respect both sides
Mhm.
of the opinion and come through to some good decisions. And, that one paragraph says it was worth it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, it's been a roller coaster. I look forward to you guys meeting for 30 minutes and then going, all would be well in the world.
Yeah.
But it's been a very worthwhile experience.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And-
Thank you.
Thank
And also for all of your work with Friends of the Library as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Very good.
I'm gonna hang on to that one for a while.
Good, good. And then, as noted earlier, Ms. Sherry Montgomery, she sounds like she'd be willing to reapply
Mhm.
if, we're able to be a little more flexible with the schedule. It sounds like we're heading
working
down
on
that direction.
Mhm.
So hopefully she does. Just from the bottom of my heart, I think she has been tons of fun to work with. I think it's been great. So if we can also get a round of applause for this. And if we're tuning in, Ms. Montgomery, I hope you reapply. I'd love to see you back on the board. We have then any other,
Mr. Scott?
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So it looks like we all need to do some recruiting,
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
right? So just to have it on our radar. And are you it's just a general at large,
Mhm.
this seat?
I identified it as at large.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, city, out of city, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We have one position that's borough.
That's
Yeah, out
me.
of
That's
city.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
but they.
that's the
you
borough,
don't
that's
get
the
out-
borough
there's
resident.
Nothing, just
But the other
Yeah.
two are also borough residents.
at large, yeah.
Mhm.
But they're at large borough residents.
Yeah.
So actually, June's our only city at large.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So,
I mean, not officially, but
Yeah.
representative.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So,
I
yeah.
agree. So check with your
Take a look
folks.
around,
Right.
check with your folks.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do like a Facebook post.
Okay,
The city.
And- Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
We are the funnest board. Yes.
yes, we are.
And then technically, my term is ending between now and March, but tentative to what's going on with the mayor, I'll be reappointed.
Oh.
But that's, I think, 3 people technically ending. So I wanted to make sure that I made sure for myself also that March was when mine was ending as well. I believe, yes.
Technically.
Right.
Technically?
Technically, right now.
Okay.
But really, you're stuck with us.
Yes.
Yay.
Until you bring someone new, you're it.
Nice to
And as well, and I was already saying earlier, you have just been a tremendous member of this board. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Absolutely.
Still, it's still absolutely fantastic. Okay, but yeah, invite your friends. We have snacks. It's great. So now we're on item 12A, creating a space in the library with resources, books, etc., to help at-risk families and abused children. So I brought this forth, I think, in the July meeting. And ultimately, it was to leverage the resources that we have for just all parents, caregivers, which often it's our children at risk who could use the support. And so I wanted to see that was initially what I was hoping to see if we can set aside some space in the library that is just a resource center, or I was even thinking like at different times of the year there might be behavioral health month or something like that. Things that just resources targeted towards children, families, caregivers, or community members, especially those that may be in greater need or at risk. So that was my thought. Yes.
You feel more to say? I'm
No,
happy
that
to
was
listen.
it.
Just-
Yep.
Yeah. So I think this is a really interesting proposal. I've been curious, operationally speaking, whether you envisioned this being in partnership maybe with nonprofits, if there was an opportunity for the library to establish a relationship with organizations that are already reaching these families maybe, I don't know whether it be RYC or
Mhm.
Community Connections or
Wish.
Kitchen Wish, Kitchen After School Program, and have those organizations be sort of the operational partner in making this, if we establish this resource,
Mhm.
making it available to those at-risk families or youth.
Well, that, that was kind of where my head was at, but I wasn't sure about the availability of your staff to even take on something like this, or if they could be worked into what already the outreach and the things that they're already doing.
Right, right. So yeah, I think it would definitely be a discussion with the staff.
Yeah.
But because I think in some respects, we certainly have those partnerships. And excitingly, Kate Govars has approached Lisa, our adult services, about doing a series of kind of medical focused talks by people at Peace Health. And we could certainly see if we could focus at least one of those talks on this issue. And then also have, right now we have right as you come inside the library, there's like an information little cubby with all kinds of information about all kinds of things. We could definitely have something, include information for families at risk, children at risk, and then get that information also to places like Wish and OIC. We've already done it with that brochure that we have about how the library works, how fines work, how charges work, and we've distributed that brochure widely. And we could definitely explore, different ways of working with those groups to provide that kind of help. And as far as like just physical resources, as far as like books, resources, those kinds of things we have, but I think it's not always obvious that we have them.
Right.
I know some libraries do things like for people who especially children who might be embarrassed or hesitant about checking material out on certain topics. There is a way to provide them access where they're not feeling like a librarian is kind of noticing what they're checking out or what they're reading. And we could definitely kind of look at doing that because basically we want to provide people with information. We don't want them to feel that they're having to kind of reveal things about themselves that they don't want to reveal necessarily. So yeah, we'll talk about it as a staff and see what we can come up with. And we have great partnerships, and I think we can use those partnerships to enhance what we're doing and to maybe focus it a little better.
All right, great. Did I see a hand over here?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say you have the vending machine area.
Yep, we do.
I was gonna
We
say,
do.
that's a great space,
Mhm.
especially if we could have things like bus schedules
Mhm.
in that area. I
Mhm.
did pick up a couple flyers and several of the phone numbers were like out of date and not
Yeah.
active. So just refreshing
Mhm.
that, I mean, we could have wish brochures,
Right.
bus schedules, and then the other thing I would ask is, so kind of along Grant's line for specific families,
Mhm.
we could even do like discrete reading lists,
Mhm.
like by topic,
Absolutely.
and then like maybe, if you're like wanted to talk about family abuse,
Yeah.
like these are some books in the library, and then
Right.
you know how you do blind date with a book where you wrap
Mhm.
your book up? What if
Yeah.
we did something where you could like just have the barcode, like if you wanted to check
Oh,
out something
right.
privately, and just
Right.
obviously the librarian's going to see it on the
Right.
computer, but then you have like a little bit of privacy with
Mhm.
what you're carrying around.
Right.
Oh, like your vote, when you vote and you put.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
in the little
Yep, and they
privacy
just
sleeve.
have this.
Except
the
then
barcode.
everybody would know that you had, so it's like.
That's
buying
it
the
could.
magazine
It could. You could be like brown bagging it, like, or it's just
Yeah.
an idea.
Oh yeah, totally.
And then just refreshing those pamphlets and
Mhm.
like reading list ideas, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can stand on those computers, and
Yeah.
I know you're updating the system, But like the things you have to Google to find the specific books,
Oh, I know.
it's really frustrating. So
Yeah.
like my favorite is the winter reading program because you would give the list like we're gonna do nautical sailing books or westerns, and you have
Right.
like 12 lists
Yeah.
of books.
Yeah,
topic.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's a terrific idea, to really, focus people so they don't have to slog through.
And it goes to number one
Mhm.
on the library poll of that the library at Ketchikan's Town Hall.
Yeah,
If you could get, because I think a lot of people, it's not knowing where to go
yeah,
and then like just cold calling, showing up at a place. Like if you need wish services, you're not just gonna like take a bus to their address.
sure.
So making sure that you have wish brochures at the
Mhm.
library, making sure that you have Peace Health brochures at the
Mhm.
library.
Right.
Just like having a huge spectrum of services, community connections.
Mhm.
The one that I picked up was for, were you in a traumatic accident or were you a victim of a violent crime?
Mhm.
And I called the number, it was KIC, and it no longer worked.
Oh,
Oh,
So that would have been really helpful.
yeah. Okay, no, that's a good point.
So just making sure it's updated and
Absolutely.
refreshed.
There's probably somebody in town who does that. Peace Health used to have a
Oh,
working list, but
Mhm.
I've been retired for 5 years and, but they still might.
Mhm.
The
Right,
social worker there would know.
okay,
or the wellness.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, Wellness Coalition would be a
Right.
great resource, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
A big shout out to you with this idea and
Mhm.
just also, as somebody who professionally works in a library and is working to come up with ideas. I think this is exactly what the Library Advisory Board,
Mm.
the work that is really helpful to libraries, like, if we can set aside having to defend people's right to read what they need to read or what they want to read and just go, how do we meet the needs of our
Mhm.
community? And we are all out there, the library staff is only this size. They do a tremendous amount with not a lot of resources. And so we could be out there identifying needs and helping to facilitate and make connections. And I think that's our job here.
Mhm.
That's something we get to do. And I think it's a great example. Yeah.
Just thinking about the like kind of youth perspective on that. If there was, some books for adults and some books for like youth,
Mhm.
Ketchikan Youth Peer Educators and Ketchikan Youth for Change are both groups that I think would be, if you approach them to say, can you help us kind of come up with some books that are
Mhm.
circulating well or some topics that are relevant to
Mhm.
youth in our community, those would be two good groups to kind of help pinpoint
Excellent.
like, this is substance abuse that we're seeing in
Mhm.
youth, this is kind of the stuff we see in Ketchikan, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I love that.
Cool.
Um,
Great. So I will bring this to staff and then I'll report back.
that's great.
So,
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to make abundantly clear that I know the staff works hard
Mm.
and I want to add more. So whatever is already available to just
Mhm.
kind of bring it. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Also, anything else on item 12A? No? Okay, thank you. Then next, we are on to board member comments. How about we start over in the land of Nina?
Man, I'm gonna reiterate what Kathy just said. This feels good that we're actually making progress on things.
Mhm.
We're like discussing. It's a little bit less formal and it feels more creative and productive. And I'm really sorry that June's not gonna be here anymore, but I still get to see you, so.
I'll still be in your life.
I know, I'm excited for that, but I wouldn't be here so long without you, so.
Oh, really? Well, thank you.
Couldn't have done it without you being chair and all the things that you have done. And yes, I'm holding on to that we're still gonna be in each other's lives.
Yes, yeah. So, I want to thank this board because everybody has been so supportive of what we're trying to do. And, one of the things we try to do is support our wonderful librarians. And that's a labor of love, certainly. So I've enjoyed my time here and I wish you well in the future.
Thank you. Can I get one more round of applause?
Wait, can I make a motion that she has to come to these meetings and sit next to you? I'm sorry we don't get to serve together, but sure, wait. That is a great title. I'm sure something. Just very, very glad to be here to help enrich, the library offerings and yeah, offer something for my knowledge base. I really come from a place where libraries are essential to a functioning democracy, and public library that has something to offend everybody is the kind of library that we want and need to support. And I'm really going to be glad to be a part of that.
Okay. First, thank you to Pat and the KPL staff. You guys have seen too much of my face lately, and I think it's for always being there. Thank you for being such big help with all the teams that have been studying, letting them use the larger room. I've heard nothing but overwhelming good comments about the staff and interactions with staff. So thank you for that. Thank you to Jack for just working on stuff with the mayor about getting the terms changed and all that. Mr. Email.
That's fine.
But yes, thank you so much for that. Thank you to June for just all your years of service and your mentorship. I've learned a lot from you, and it's been wonderful to hear like a very steady voice who's like seen the before and the after of what this board was, and kind of hear about what it can be going forward. Thank you to Sherry for all of her work. I've learned very much from you if you're watching at home. And thank you for your quirkiness. Definitely helped make this board feel a little bit easier coming into. Welcome to Kathy. It's very nice to have you. I will admit I didn't know you were coming until I went to a borough assembly meeting a couple weeks ago, and I was talking with Charlie, and she was like, I'm not on the board, and I was like, what? And then I found out, and I'm very glad you were here, and I didn't quite know who you were yet, and then as soon as I saw you, I was
Maybe you
like,
need to come up to the campus
I
library.
know, and as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, okay, and I got very excited, so I'm glad to have you here. And then thank you to Grant for this idea. Again, I think it's something that's fairly important to our community, and it intersects with a lot of other work that I do, so I'm happy to see it represented in the library as well.
Ms. Diane.
I just want to say how impressed I am with the amount of work and contribution that my fellow board members have been making. And hopefully, as I get more experience, I'll be able to join in their contributions.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, so thank you. Jeff. Mr. Jack.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, not just for the work you do, but specifically for this meeting anyway. This winter survey, it's a tremendous effort. Coding aside, just collating all that information and distilling it into a report like this is tremendously helpful to this board, and I imagine the library as well. And it's exactly why a library advisory board should have a teen representative. Not only surveys like this, but even the point of reference you made during the discussion about this prospective resource is saying like, hey, here are a couple of youth organizations that might have actionable information for you. That's tremendously helpful. So thank you for those contributions. And then June, when I joined the library advisory board 3 years ago or 4, I think it's 4 now.
I think it is 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies. It was really in a period of transition as we were moving through some pretty tumultuous waters. And I was new to the board, so I wasn't terribly sure how it operated or how it was going to navigate those turbulent waters. And your stewardship in those times, the calm and steady presence that you maintained through some pretty emotional meetings was tremendously helpful to me, I think to the board and the community at large. So thank you for that. I want to thank you for one thing further. I don't know that this phrase originated with you, but it was your use of it that really made an imprint on me. We were in a particularly contentious meeting. Words became a little heated, and you encouraged the speaker to speak to the issue and not to the person. And that was such a sharp and precise distillation of what's important about how we approach the work that we do, that it has become a reference point for me in my work in municipal governance and in civic engagement. So thank you for that as well. I refer to it, I lean on that, and I hear it in your voice always more often than you might realize.
Well,
So
thank you for that. But I think probably Pat or maybe Delilah Walsh were behind that. It's not something I originated.
Like I said, it may not have originated with you, but
But it's
you,
your voice.
your voice stamped it on me. So I carry you with me in that regard.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
And Miss Pat, anything you'd like to add?
No, I just want to thank you all for all your work, all your ideas. I so appreciate it, and the library really appreciates it. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, June.
I'll still be in your.
But yeah, no, this is amazing, and yeah, I'm very excited to continue working with you all. And yeah, really moving forward, which is just tremendous. So thanks very much.
Thank you. Mr. DeMello, anything you'd like to add? No? We appreciate you. Thank you. And so for me, thank you all. I think I'm beginning my 4th year, I think.
So, yeah.
Ish. I've had tons of fun the entire time, even though some of our meetings, as you said, have been pretty tumultuous. I've always been really pleased, and at the end of it, that our community, I feel, has always come together stronger at the end of it than we did going into it, through honest and meaningful conversations. I think it's always good. And I also wanted to second Ms. Bowling's comments about that there are very few things that I think strengthen democracy more than a well-informed population. The very principles of the ruling authority resting in the people means that when the people are well-informed, they can make the best possible decisions. And I think that history has shown us throughout all of recorded history that when information is suppressed or limited to the people, that it has never, ever, ever, ever worked out to the benefit of the people. And there is no downside to having a well-informed and well-educated population. Absolutely none. So I appreciate all the work that you all do, for all the support of the staff. And so thank you all very much. And I believe that is the end of our agenda. Is it? Oh, future agenda items. Let's see, we had the only ones that we had, I think. Anything else that is not part of what we've already postponed to the next meeting? No, hearing none. Then I believe that I'm ready for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, so move. All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Something